Hello. Thank you for being here. It's been a beautiful few weeks. Wanted to share today. Sorry, it's a little bright right here, isn't it? Um, Wanted to share today and my adventures at this last weekend at ECETI. I don't know if any of you would know about ECETI. It's a place over in the southwest corner of Washington by Mount Adams. I've been there many times, about 3 times actually. Started going there about 4 years ago with some friends, and we've returned every year. We skipped last year, but we try to make it returning every year. We enjoyed it so much. My friends had gone the year prior and had some beautiful experiences and had invited me to come along the following year. And I just would like to share some experiences that we had this weekend. And in those experiences, bring forth some knowledge or experiences, my knowledge and my experiences, not knowledge of everyone, just the knowing in me of what I was seeing and experiencing and feeling. So I'd just like to begin with actually our journey there. I know that we've all been experiencing some rapid transformation with time and how time folds on itself and how time opens up, missing time, all kinds of different things. And when we get in a higher state of vibration and align ourselves with beings of frequency of song and sound, I'll say it that way, opens us up to a way to transverse through time and space without what I see and what I feel of a holographic distortion of perception. So it opens up a field to be able to tunnel through, travel through, glide through, allowing all to move out of your way so you can get there more rapidly. Other times it can be a missing time link, and you're going somewhere else and returning, going into the extra dimensional realms and returning, and going interdimensional realms and returning, having interactions with different beings and returning. There's many different things that are happening at that time when we're losing time and space. But and I've had all of the above. But in this instant, on Friday morning, my friend Heather and I, we were prepared to leave in the morning to go to ECETI, and I could already feel the joy of the mountain, the joy of the frequency there that was calling us, welcoming us, excited for us to be there, much like when I traveled to Mount Shasta weeks in advance. They always know when we're coming. I dream about it. I astral travel to it, and they're welcoming. They're so excited that we're coming. On this morning in particular, we gathered our things, and I met her, and we had a drive that normally is about 5.5 hours, and we stopped three times. We stopped 3 times to get gas, stop and get coffee, use the restroom. So what our 5.5 hour drive should have been probably about 6 to 6.5 hours, because we had stopped one time. We actually even drove through town a long ways, had to GPS our way through the town to find Starbucks so we could get a coffee and a snack. And we actually got out of the car and got a snack and sat in on the bench and ate something and had our coffees, and then got back in the car and drove some more. So, we were going leisurely and traveling with traffic, just going with the flow. And our travels, once we arrived, we noticed that we are getting there rather quickly. That time was seeming to be, speeding up. And that time was just dropping off of our GPS. Like, wow, we're just really getting there fast, and our ETA kept getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And things seemed to be moving very quickly past both of us. Things were on ramps and passes were coming up so quickly on me because I was driving. Were coming up so quickly on me, even though we were following the GPS. I would be like, holy moly, I got to go there. And I would just whip over and we'd go off on the next, direction. And it was, it's odd, it was just really odd. It was just coming up so quickly and passing so quickly. And when we finally arrived, we had gotten there in 4 hours. So that was quite interesting that we had cut off at least 2 hours of our drive, around 2 hours of our drive. At least an hour and a half of our drive had just dissolved away. And both of us felt that we were wrapped in a bubble. We always say, we got this from a friend years ago, that we're divinely protected. Everywhere we go, we are divinely protected. So we were wrapped in our bubble of light, and we just were transversing through time till we got there. So that was our first experience on our route to ECETI. And it was quite interesting. Our friends that were joining us, we had 3 ladies that were joining us, and they were leaving just behind us. And they actually had gotten lost a few times, and their travels ended up being a 9-hour trip and quite longer than our travels, which was quite interesting. It was the opposite for them than it was for us. So what time we shaved off, they added and then some. So that was quite interesting. So we arrived at ECETI, and we always go in with no expectations, and in all of our travels, we go in with no expectations and with an open heart and full of joy, and allowing all to be as it is. And so whatever is to unfold in the moments of all moments as we're traveling to come to us. And so it's always fun to travel with spirit that way. So we got there early, and as we were checking in and greeted with James and chatted with him and caught up with him real quick. And I don't know if any of you have ever been there to ECETI Ranch. James Gilliland owns the place, and a beautiful divine soul that has had many experiences through his lifetime and has brought through many heartfelt knowledge through him and from his guidance system and his guides and his teachings from extra-dimensional and interdimensional beings. And he has created sacred space on this land and holds ceremony and divine wisdom to come through and share with others that join onto this land. And you're welcome to come and camp and stay in cabins. And there's sometimes events on the land. And there is always skywatch. And there's a big field, and you can skywatch. And it is right under the Milky Way. And there is a vivid view of the Big Dipper, Little Dipper, there's a huge view of the Mount Adams, which is a galactic freeway, a galactic portal for interdimensional beings to come in and out, and a lot of galactic transverse of energy that's coming through there. And you're able to see that in real time. Lot of fairies, elementals, Bigfoot. The veil is very thin in that area. Sacred space in that area that is held not only by what James has created, but by the vortex of energy because of the mountain there. There's many areas in this entirety of this world that is sacred energetic places that hold resonance where the veil is much thinner, that we can communicate on an easier level. And when you are in a higher vibration yourself, then you're able to communicate with those beings. So anyways, as we were communicating and catching up with James, we were sharing some different stories, and he is in the process of doing a documentary of his experiences and the land there and his story of his lifetime. And they had invited Heather and I to join in on recordings and asked if we could do an interview, or they could do an interview with us, excuse me. So we agreed that we would go ahead and do so, but we asked to do it at the end of our weekend in case we had any new experiences there, because they wanted to hear through the years our different experiences. So, and then, as the weekend progressed, our friends came in, and we had a beautiful sky watch that evening. And this was Friday evening. We watched as many interdimensional beings and ships came in, many of them lighting up, traveling really quickly, some of them traveling really slowly, coming in really close. All kinds of things happening in the sky there. It's so beautiful. All kinds of things happening in the sky there. So that was very special. A lot of really rapid ones that were coming through and coming really close. And we even had an experience where we asked them with our hearts open to power up. And that means for them to flash at us, and they'll power up really brightly. And there was one that was powering up in one area, and then another one over here powered up, and they were powered up over here, and they kept going back and forth and power up and back and forth. And so they're doing it back and forth. And that was really fun to see. And they were interacting and with each other and with us, because as they were doing that, James and I were communicating how we were both experiencing how our hearts were just lifting out of our chest, and the vibration coming off of us and off of the beings and off of the ships. As they were doing that, they were communicating in a heartfelt experience and giving us a transmission as that was happening. They share their knowledge and blessing, I guess you could say, you with their transmissions, and for you to unfold at that time and in the future. So then into that evening, we went to bed, and I experienced that evening. I was laying in bed, and I woke up, and my hands were laying at my side, and I was flat on my back, and I could feel the vibration of being standing around me. And I was just laying there. I felt almost frozen in time, and I could feel that they were doing something to me, for me, and so there was like a energy threading all over me, and I could feel it all through my body. And so I just laid there and felt the vibration of it, and gave thanks and a heartfelt, gratitude for what they were doing for me. And as I laid there and that completed, and I could see the frequency, kind of a frequency all around me, I heard in my ear, I heard them say play. And as soon as they said that, it was really loud. They said play. And as soon as they said that, I saw this picture in my mind's eye, because I had my eyes closed. I saw this picture in my mind's eye out in the field. There is some Frisbee golf things. And I saw this picture of this Frisbee golf thing out in the field. And I started to giggle that it was dark. We can't play, right? Can't play Frisbee golf right now. It's dark outside. And so I kind of giggled and I could feel the vibration all around me and stuff. And so I kind of giggled and I fell back to sleep. And so the next day, my next experience, Heather and I were sitting in lawn chairs out in front of our little yurt, our little cabin that we had rented. And I felt my left hand was just sitting there on the chair, and just kind of leaning over it. And all of a sudden I felt something holding my hand, and not only holding my hand, but stroking the inside of my hand and stroking the back side of my hand. And as it was doing that, I could feel this pulsation of energy all the way over my hand and all the way up my arm. And I said, Heather, somebody's holding my hand, somebody's touching my hand. So that was interesting. And so I shared with her, and so she's very visual, and she can see divine beings, and she's very visual. And so she says, well, he's very small, and just, what do you feel about, what do you sense? And so I hear a lot. And so I was sensing the smallness about him. And I was hearing that, that his name was Baba. And he just was feeling my vibration and radiating his love through me, from his vibration to my vibration, and radiating love through me. And he said his name was Baba. And it's funny, he was kind of silly. And he says, like Baba Ganoush is like, he said, like Baba Ganoush. I have no idea what Baba Ganoush was. I had to actually look it up online. And he said like the food, Baba Ganoush. And so I had to look that up. And I guess it's the eggplant dish. And so I had to look that up. And he was being really silly and stuff. So he was talking with us and giving us messages about vibrating love and stuff. And so that was very lovely. And then we had the honor of, James does a show every Saturday night. And so we had lost power that day. The whole area had lost power, and we were having trouble getting so he could do a show. So he normally does, some information and brings that through, and he's prepared for it. So he ended up doing, just the impromptu. So he had invited Heather and I to come up and share a little bit of some experiences on that show. We got invited to come onto his show. So that was an honor. And then that evening, we got to watch the light ships come through and share. And that evening was quite lovely. I don't think it was that evening that we saw him, but it was the following evening. Sunday night, we were there once again. And Sunday evening before we went out, we were sitting and relaxing by our cabin once again. And as Heather and I were chatting, I was noticing back in in the orchard, in the trees, that there was this dark figure, and it almost looked like, like a standing bear or a large man. And he was moving, he was kind of waving and would go up and down, like trying to get my attention, was standing in the tree trying to get my attention. And I couldn't focus on Heather any longer. I kept looking at this thing, and then my heart was leaping out of my chest. And I said to Heather, I said, I am seeing Bigfoot. I think this is Bigfoot that I'm seeing. It was brown, and it was, like trying to get my attention, and it was giggling, and it was my heart was just leaping out of my chest, and she says, "Do you think I can turn around?" And I says, I feel like you can. I feel like he will allow that. And so she turns around in her chair, and he's doing the same thing, kind of leaning down. He's kind of dancing around and waving at us, and she's feeling the same thing. And another lady comes by and says, "What are you guys doing?" And we said, "Well, we're watching Bigfoot over there. He's in the trees, and he's trying to get our attention, and he's being silly in the trees." And we tried to explain to her where he was. She could not see what we were seeing, and as we were trying to explain it, he kind of faded away and was gone. And I had a knowing that when your heart is connected, just like in all beings, when your heart is open and you're in the divine space with them, they reveal themselves to you. They want to connect with you. Just like the elementals, they were vibrating energy with me. They were, feeling my vibration with them. And they want to have this heartfelt connection, because our hearts, as in all beings in this planetary realm that we see with our open eye, what we see in other dimensions, they're in the same heart song with us. And when we open ourselves up to feel our divine heart, we can start communicating what's beyond the veil. What's beyond what the veil is our cloud of perception that we're choosing not to see. And so it's time to drop that veil, put the veil down. It's safe to see. It's safe to feel. It's safe to be. It's safe to be who we truly are, and feel and be with all divine beings. They're not here to harm us. They're here to share love and knowledge, just as other beings that we deal with in the physicality. They're here to help us as well. So from that night, this was Sunday night, we had gone, well, before that, we had gone up to the waterfalls, and we had gone down to the river and blessed some crystals in the river. And then we had gone to the night watch one more time. And we were sitting there and watching more of the light ships go up in the sky, but it was quite cloudy that night. And so there wasn't a lot to be seen. And I could see over in the left side of the field, there was this blue-green light in the tree, tucked in the trees. And I kept seeing it. And one of the workers there, he was asking us how, we'd become to where we could see so much. And I had mentioned that I would see this little light over there. He goes, "Oh, well, that is a fairy house that's over there. It's known that there's a fairy house over there." And he was wondering how I could see it so clearly without being with they were passing around night vision goggles. And normally you could see the fairies through the night vision goggles, but I could see it without any night vision goggles or anything. I just could see the lights without that. And it was quite interesting that all of a sudden, there must have been a shift in me. I didn't see it last time that I was there. These things that I'd seen and I had interaction with last time that I was there, all the fairies and all the elementals, we had seen through cameras and videos. And this time I was seeing them without the use of night vision goggles, and I was seeing them without the use of cameras and without the use of a video lens. I was seeing them with my waking eyes, and they were right there in front of me and full vision. So that was quite beautiful, that things were changing for me, that I was bringing open another level of my heart awakening so I can be in oneness with them. And so that was such an honor to be able to have that and hold that with them. And again, that night we were able to see a few stars. And like I said, it was a little cloudy, and they asked us to do a little bit of clearing. So we grounded ourselves and did a blessing. 3 of us did, and did blessing and opened up the skies a little bit. And then the skies opened, and then the clouds started to move away from our view, so that we could see him more clearly. And so that was very special, so that all of the people that were with us could see the stars more. So that was such an honor. And then the next morning, we were blessed with being able to do interviews with a gentleman that he interviewed Heather and I both for James's documentary that they are doing on him and on the ranch, of all the energies that are happening there, and share a little bit of our story and our experiences that we've had there. So that was very beautiful, and we were in such gratitude to be able to share those, so that our stories can help bring awareness to the area and enlighten others to be able to come visit the space and bring awareness to what spirit is, not only around us, but what's within us. And so it was such a blessing. It was such a joy to have another beautiful experience there, and more connection on a heart level, and more connection on an awakened level with these divine spirits that are working with us. I had the pleasure of being able to sit and meditate through the whole weekend, and get many messages of beauty and divine grace. I was able to draw some different beings, which I thought was really special. After I was drawing Sunday evening, I had drawn many different beings that I was interacting with throughout the weekend. And I brought home one of James's book, and I've already read it. Here I am already. I've only been home a couple of days, and I've already read the book. But on the cover and in the book, there were 2 different beings, and these 2 beings looked very similar to the beings that I was drawing there on the ranch. And so that was there was a very honor to be connecting with the same beings that he's been connecting with and talking with, as they shared very special messages of love and hope and nurturing of our hearts. So that was very beautiful. So I encourage all of you, not that you have to go to ECETI, or not that you have to go to places that are, like, I love to go to ECETI. I love to go to Mount Shasta. There are many sacred spaces on this planet that are divinely guided, divinely protected, divinely connected, that bring through a thinner veil connection that we can communicate with spirit. So I encourage you to find a space that's local to you, or in your travels, wherever you travel, to find one that you can sit and commune with beings that are out there in nature and inner earth and extra dimensional, that are wanting to bring through messages to you. And you may find that they are part of your soul lineage. You may find that they are part of your soul family. You may find that they may be an aspect of you that is wishing to communicate with you, to bring forth an awakening of your heart, your love, your song that wishes to speak through you and to you at this time. So I just wanted to share all of that with you. There's many more things that was happening in that space this weekend. But that's the gist of it. That's the most the roundabout parts of it. Brings it into a nutshell. I wanted to also bring through any messages that wanted to come through from Source Creator at this time, as we are all bringing through the highest of all that we are in all of this time and space. And in this, I am of full knowing and of full gratitude to all of you for being here and being not only in this lifetime, but all of your lifetimes. For it has been a journey through space and time and all realities. So from the highest of light of all that I am, from the highest love of all that I am wanting to bring forth a message of love, a message of gratitude to all of you on your journey. As I bring through these messages of love and light to you, I am bringing forth from the highest love and light of all that I am, and we are of highest order of councils of light beings. For we are of thanking upon you at all times and on all realities, and bring through to you the knowledge of you to you. For the praise of praise within all beings, the light that we see upon you, we are blessing upon you to see within yourself. For the highest loving of all things are you. For the highest knowing of all things are you. For we are of one love and one breathing of heart song, and we are of thanking you at this time. Of blessings upon blessings we bring to thee. From the highest love of all that is, we share upon thee of reverence, we share upon thee of radiance of divine beauty in all things. The abundant flow of who you are remains unseen. And we welcome you to unfold the keys, that unlock the doors to you. For we bring to you now a code of light and song to show you your key. For it is upon you to unlock your doors. Arena coach nigarastana, arena coach nagiristana carastana, anina kona, ani king inias nana arcosna. Ani ocasnana, adinino ostana crestana anagrasa order. Anaget go and a key at the did caros the corona naragas to the carats to the Ora the scrubone caras, screening the caras, the crest, any caucus and the cracks, but any cracks. They are upholding a platform above you and below you. Arena cotisted, Garana Cresta, Arena cotis, the Garatis goose, the Nagaratis tidis, Kuraskara. Kurunes, Karagara Kukas, Arakurakis, Karakuris, the Nanagarkis, what is the Karakuris, Arakurus, and the Negative, what is the Nagarakis, Kuranakis, and the Nagakristana. Arakukuris in the Corona, Arakukura, Kusan, Kirikana, I could go to the coach, take the coach, the cricket and the cricket school, and the Karakas, and the Karakas. I could go to the radio coaches and the Narakish coaches and the Nagarakish coaches take the Derek sugar and the Narakish. I could just coach and the Karakish, and the Karakara, water and Sida. I could take water and the Narakash and the Karaka, water and the Karakish to the Kiratka. Arakish kutu das kira kara kutu sarana karish tikirikish kutu and the kirish kira. Arakish kutu kuch and karakish kutu kira karakochi griot kutu kinetic kara okich kutu kirish kutu na. Rakish kutu kutu and Nagarakish kutu. Kurukarana, Kishkira, what's the name? Araya should go to Nagarashikana. Aragash can go to Shinagashina. Arakish could push and negatives and negatives, which and negatives and negatives, growth and negatives. Arakish could push and negatives. Arakish coach and negatives, coach and Nirach. Arakish and negatives, Nini and Negatives, Aragash can coach and Arakish can coach and negatives. Arakish can indicate, Rich can shoes, can Arakish ocean and a creation, could is in a coach and a cricket cockatish, no coach and I did condition, good and a grat, good is in a condition and a condition. I teach you a coach and a kiss a I two tears and I got a condition and a correction and a correction and a correction and I teach and a correction, a correction, a correction, a correction, and a correction in a coach. Arachukuchina, Arakachuna Kurukas, Nagana, Krishkukan, Karagaraguchino, Gotsina, Nadirikana, Arakachina. Oro, Chigirish, and a Karagarakotoshina, and a Karagotina, Krishna, Pura, Sidana, Krishna. The Krishkos, and the Garish coach, and I can issue the Nakarakan, Gorshin, and the Garish, and the Karaskosina. For they say they have woven a thread from you to the heavenly realms, reconnecting you to your light above. The ones that you have forgotten. For you have never been disconnected, they want to remind you. But you have forgotten these threads. And they have reassessed them to your proper you. That you can see your trueness of you. Koro gets gonna cook and I just get gonna go out like that. Or coach gonna need it or gonna go potion and get gonna never gonna cook it and I get you to go to teach grow negation and the gara go to Sanana. I get you to go to and get you to negation and I got you to not. What is it I need? Is gonna they're asking you to allow all of you and your radiance to shine and rise within. As a feeling of all of the chakras illuminating and rising from one to the top to the top to the top, all the way up as it explodes at the top. And let it explode and cascade back down. Put it like a waterfall. And then raise back up. So you become a waterfall, flow back up and down, up and down. Regenerating and revitalizing yourself. Needing nothing outside of yourself, that needing always regenerating and revitalizing you from you. You are the power of all things. You are the generator of love and light. As we radiate and commune with others, we radiate our abundance outward. Not needing anything from others, we radiate outward our own divine love. Sharing in peaceful harmony. This is how we create peace within and peace out of in our lives that we are walking in. We radiate our inner love and peace outward, and it is felt back into us as the others are radiating the same and upon. This is the heart connection that they are sharing. With this, we share with you, and we are thanking. We are thanking of you for your divine beauty to do what is it that you bring upon these lands at this time and all times. Your walkings are of a great importance at this time. For we are of radiance together. Of all importance of divine love and grace. Hare Krishna, we are of thinking. Orasana. Hare Krishna, Isra Usana. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. We are of loving. Orasana. We are of loving upon you. To Krishna Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, nobody is the Nakotana, Nakis, the Nakotana. Hare Krishna, Orasana, Garastoka. Hare Krishna, ordinated it's done. And they get it to know Orasana. Hare Krishna, Nakotana, Hare Krishna. Skoro ore Krishna ore irikum jesta. Skoro ore sena krasta. I thank you for being here at this time. And they thank you so very much. They thank you so very much. I thank you, Tobias, for offering that. If you'd like to get a hold of me, you can reach me on my website, and we could do a private session. You'd have to get a hold of me on my website. I appreciate that. And for any of you, if you'd like to do a private session, get a hold of me. You can email me at. Sorry, I'm drawing a blank on everything right now. palmos.aura at gmail.com. It's palmos.aura@gmail.com. Or you can get on my website. It's palmos, PALMOS crystals.com, and schedule a private session. Bring through any divine messages that you are wanting to know from Source Creator through me, if you would like. If you'd like to learn a little bit about light language, about channeling, if you ever want to do any divine healing, shamanic work, any oracle cards, readings, anything of that nature, feel free to get a hold of me and we can schedule a session. If you are in the area of Northern Idaho, I also do aura photography. I do crystal therapy. And we also can do virtual sessions for crystal therapy as well. And the only thing I really can't do virtual is the aura photography. I also do Akashic readings. And if you're here in the area of my little town of St. Mary's, I have a full crystal shop. So you're welcome to come on by and check out the crystals. I also have a beautiful soul that works with me here, that does massage and QHHT, and she brings through beautiful messages and beautiful energies here to share with you as well. So Have a beautiful day. I hope this was inspiring to you. I hope this inspired you to get out in nature and talk with the elementals, talk with the divine spirits that are out there that want to communicate with you. And maybe they are your family. Maybe they are your soul lineage that in a lifetime that you've had. You never know until you connect. And have a beautiful day. Love you all. Bye.